Is that better?
That's better. I don't know what's going on there. It just like keeps getting real low. And now you're okay. There we go.
Oh, I wonder. Hold on a minute.
Do you have like the auto canceling on in Skype?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Audio. Yeah, there it is. That's why. Now it should be
okay.
set.
Yeah, no, because it's like when you start to get louder.
Sorry. Is that better?
It's other than being a little echoey, and I can hear me.
Echoing?
I can hear me through you.
Well, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me now or no?
I can hear you. Okay, whatever you did fixed it.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, refresh my memory.
Oh, we were starting to get into multitasking.
Oh yes, yeah. They all truly multitask. I mean, in its truest form. I mean, we're not going to escape the actual technicalities of a CPU doing concurrency.
Yeah.
Allowing background. But yes, the iPhone has hardened APIs, and that's it. In other words, if you're going to use concurrency and task switching, you're going to play by a strict set of rules. And Android is a lot looser, but I don't. That's like I complained before. They need to make harder rule sets and saying your app is done upon exit, and prohibit some of the out of control use of services if we don't have task killers and things like that. And the Palm Pre or the WebOS was designed initially to handle all the concurrency and task switching and automatically kill the service by making it easy to do so in the GUI. And
I respectfully disagree a little bit on that, and that if Google tries to come in and say Android needs to work this way, no matter what set of rules they pick, they're going to have the same problem Apple has by picking a set of rules, and that somebody's going to want to do something that didn't fit into the box that they imagined because they're innovating in a way. And so, but see, here's the thing: if you'll notice, all the apps in the Android marketplace that are really bad about that, they get bad reviews, and like the thing gets filled with that. I'm thinking the review process where everybody, because every time you uninstall an app on Android, it asks you to write a review of it. It says, "Am I uninstalling this because it didn't work? Because it's not." Right. It's like, and over time, you learn real quickly, and the review is a record of that. Of this developer is taking their time. This developer is just trying to push something out with no care for how it performs on my device. And it's the cream does start to rise to the top. It's like in the marketplace, we'll let you sort by best rated, recently added, free sign. It's like, so it's over time, the best ones come to the top. I'm a big fan of the hands-off approach. However, I think one thing that should be dictated to be added to marketplace apps is you should recommend the system requirements. Like you should list which phones it's on, because all Android phones are not created equally. Some of them are gigahertz Snapdragon phones, and some of them are a little less than a half of a gig, little lightweight, little cheapy phones that can't run these powerful apps well. They just can't.
Well, I understand where you're going with the rule sets, but let me tell you, as a programmer, sometimes having the API rule sets are okay. Now, I'm not talking about as being as strict as Apple, but having a mandatory, if my app has no requests to have a save state or run concurrently, it must follow the API to being killed. And I think that's a lenient rule. It's not actually creating sandboxes like Apple, where it's a navigation concurrency, a music concurrency, and then you play by, well, their save states are pretty open. If your app is required to do some rudimentary services after it's left, Apple will allow it to do that, and the applications do stay on. It's their sandboxes for having concurrency that are limited, not so much as the save states that I've seen from a development point of view. But you can say that is very limited in that, well, these are the only APIs that we're allowing background services. Anything else, see you later. And Android...
Android has the opposite problem. They allow everything under the sun, which means if people don't take the time to design something well, you get issues.
Well, I agree with a lot of what you're saying in the hands-off approach, but I think from a development point of view that there can be some lenient rules, and I think killing the apps and following the API order to do so is fairly lenient. It's not a sandbox. It's not saying your concurrency must obey these rules. I think it's a fairly lenient and a good rule that developers could follow.
Okay, it's like one thing I want to warn you about. You may want to turn your mic down a little bit because you're getting a little airy. I don't know if you'll wind up sounding choppy or not.
Okay.
What I almost think, rather than make them rules, they should make them strongly advised guidelines. But if you need to break them to do what you want to do, you can.
Okay.
And that it's like middle of the ground. Basically, we advise doing it this way for the best user experience, and we think you'll be happy, and we think your customers will be happier with your app if you. However, we're open. If you want to break the rules and do it your own way, do it. Just understand you may not have the desired result.
Well, let's look at it from a consumer point of view, because I know you and I are going to have greatly and vastly different opinions than an everyday user. Obviously, my wife.
No, and that's why I'm going to say what you could do is add to the marketplace like a little check thing or something to say doing it the approved way or something, and the consumer who doesn't want to chance it could only take apps that do it that way, but geeky people like us who understand the risks, just like with the unsupported APIs, I guarantee you grandma's never going to do an unsupported API app.
Okay, so you're saying that Android Marketplace should have like a super genuine app center that if you're one of these normal, everyday users, that if you download apps through there, they're going to obey, they're going to follow the guidelines for the best experience. Okay, fair enough.
But we're not going to lock the marketplace down and try and turn open into close. It's like this is the suggested route, but we understand there's geeks out there, there's power people. You may not be dealing with the mainstream. If you need to break the rules, break them. You just don't fit in this category.
Okay, fair enough. I think as long as it's intuitive enough and consumer, I think that's fair enough. Sure.
Yeah, again, that would be the good middle of the ground to fix the problem you're talking about.
Okay, let me see here. What do we got? It's a little out of order here, but I think as of late, Apple has been neglecting the Mac. Because like the last 3 major releases of a Mac product that wasn't an i product were not even announced. Just like, it's basically fanboys came out and said, hey, Steve Jobs gave you something new, worship it. And nobody else even really cared. And I think that's part of why they're getting, you may not have time to reply to this in this point, I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible. I think that's part of why they've been getting razzed so much in the news over these iPhone 4 and now... Oh, actually, that's the other thing to go into, because this plays directly into that. We'll have to go into the next part. The iTunes hacked accounts. Because these are things that would have, and have, Apple has, things like this have happened with Apple in the 2000 decade, in the decade. But they went under the radar because Apple always had something going on, basically a weapon of mass distraction to go, everybody focus on this. And then something would happen, but it would only really make the tech circles. It wouldn't be on the mainstream thing. And now that they've put all their eggs in the iDevice basket, they're kind of getting bit because now this flaw is in the iDevice world.
Right, yeah. There have been a lot of things that do go under the mainstream radar, and it just sticks to the geek world. But Apple has not been neglecting the Macs. I mean, as a developer...
Okay, I want to hear your answer in full, so pause for a